Well, we are so excited to have Paul Mecurio back in the studio with us.
Yeah.
It's great to be back.
It's so awesome to see you.
And you got me flowers.
Yeah, we always get you flowers.
And they're
Absolutely.
completely plastic.
Yeah, that's beautiful. They last a lifetime.
We haven't seen you really since, the pandemic and all I know with the Colbert Show, you had things with no audiences and then audiences. And
2019.
Now you're heading back to do shows.
Yeah, I'm back out the last few months. I'm going to be at Mohegan Sun this weekend at Comics Roadhouse Comedy Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. And yeah, and I just was like, I got to come back and see you guys because it's been a while. And we actually got a place up in Stonington where we go and hang out. So I hear you and see you guys. I hear you on the radio chat. But I just am out like a human being again, and it's been amazing.
Tell us about Colbert. Like you have your ups, your downs,
yeah,
the audiences, full audiences.
Yeah, we were doing a show out from a closet, during COVID.
Right.
And it was driving Steven crazy, and then audiences came back, and I got COVID in 2020. And
was it a bad case?
No, well, I'm still tired from it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
at least that's
so
what I tell my
effects.
wife, why I can't do anything around the house. And but the thing is, it's the first time, if you think about it, you go and nothing against the medical community, they don't know anything, so they can't prescribe anything. But
right.
you can say anything, and it's plausible. Because literally, I went in and my doctor had a checklist, and she goes, "So what's going on?" I go, "Well, I lost my sense of taste and smell." Yes, we heard that. And I have shooting pains in my body. Yes, we heard that. And I'm fatigued. Yes, we heard that. You could say anything. Every Tuesday, frogs crawl out of my ear. Yes, we heard that.
Yes.
Are they blue or are they green frogs? Like that kind of thing. And so it just got kind of, and then the city got really quiet in New York City, creepy quiet, and you don't realize how much you like the noise,
right?
And
until
the noise
it's gone.
made right. So when it was gone, it was like, this is too weird. And I said to my wife Carol, I'm like, I can't. I need noise, so I went out and I bought a jackhammer, and I just started jackhammering around New York City for no reason at all at like 6 in the morning, but then. Can I tell? It was
That's very funny.
Thank you. I'm trying.
You should use that in your bed.
And I got a big dumpster, and I just kept banging it outside people's windows. All right, it's empty. The dumpster is empty. You don't need to hit it 8 times.
I think that's the first time you've legitimately made me laugh.
Oh my God! Is this how you help me sell tickets? I'm like, hey, Paul Mecurio is going to be in Mohegan Sun. He's pretty good.
He's pretty good.
He's pretty good.
He made me laugh.
Hang on, people are returning their tickets right now. Thanks, Jamie. Jamie Callie, thank you. I love you. Can I tell you real quick about Paul McCartney?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because you mentioned the Colbert Report, and so I have a podcast called Inside Out with me, and I like to do one-on-one long-form interviews, and I love to talk to people about how they do what they do. And I can't do music for anything. I don't know how people make music. It's amazing to me. So Paul McCartney was at the show, and he just finished rehearsal. And we're all excited at the show because it's huge. It's Paul McCartney.
Of course.
So I'm running to get to the studio, and I round the corner, and standing in the hallway outside the studio, all alone, is Paul McCartney.
Oh, my God.
With a little Colbert T-shirt on, tucked in, little belt, like 12-year-old boy. And he's standing against the wall like this, leaning against the wall, chewing gum, looking up at the ceiling, all alone. No management. Look, I made you laugh a second time. Buy tickets. And like nobody, no handlers, no security, not a parrot on his shoulder, nothing, right? So you see him, and I'm like, that throws me. And then he's alone. It's like a double whammy. And my whole world slows down. I'm like, oh my God, it's Paul McCartney. And I'm like, should I say hi? Should I not say hi? But I'm like, you know what? He's alone in the hallway, no security. He's like a gazelle on the Serengeti Plains. I'm going to pounce. So I say, it's great to meet you. Excited to see you. Oh, thanks, man. And I start to walk away, and he goes, wait, come back. At least in my head, that's what he said.
Right.
And he goes, what's your name? I go, Paul. He goes, oh, Paul, that's a good name. I'm like, I'll do the jokes, buddy, all right? You just play a little love me do. No, he goes, what do you do? I go, well, I'm a stand-up. I act. I work on the Oh, I love stand-up. I knew Paul, Richard Pryor. You got a kid? Yeah, I got a kid. Touring hard. 5-10 minutes go by. I'm talking to Paul McCartney like I'm talking to you. On the outside, I'm like, hey, I'm talking to Paul McCartney. On the inside, I'm like, I'm talking to Paul McCartney. Like, out of my mind, right? You know when you're talking to somebody, half your brain's like, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. The other half's like, don't screw it up, don't screw it up. Yeah. And as I'm talking to him, I'm getting closer and closer to his face. like to the point, like I was the close talker on Seinfeld. Like he literally started leaning backwards, but he was too close to the wall, so he could, like I had him pinned against the wall. I was like those chimps on the National Geographic Channel. You know when they clean fleas off their mates? I could have clean ticked off his eyebrows. That's how close I was. So now I'm like, okay, let me get away from this guy. I go into the bathroom, right? My wife, Carol, right? I call you, And I go, oh, yeah, I'm Paul McCartney. And she goes, what are you doing? He goes, why are you breathing heavy in the bathroom? What's wrong with you? I go, no, I just met Paul McCartney. And then I blurt these words out. Paul McCartney should do my podcast. Like, that's how I think. I go, I knock on the dressing room door. I go, I know this is crazy. I'd love to talk about how you make music. Would you do my podcast? He goes, yeah, sure. Just like that.
Did you do it right then?
No. So what happened is I froze because he goes, how would we do it? And I just completely, I'm not making this up to be funny. This is how I sounded. He goes, yeah, sure, how do we do it? And I was like, and I started rubbing my leg like Rain Man, like, and I was rocking back and forth. I go, I'll come to London. And he goes, we're in a room in New York together. Why would you come to London? And then he goes, is it easy to do? And I go, oh, yeah, it's really easy. I don't want to be a bother. You could do it on your phone, naked from your toilet. I'm like, what am I saying, right? So here's the mind blow right here. I go, look, I'll leave you alone. I know you're busy. I'll get this set up with your one of your assistants. He goes, no, you and I will do it. I go, what do you mean? He goes, they're going to make it too complicated. You and I will exchange phone numbers.
Oh, my
but
God.
when I'm ready, you got to be ready to do it.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. And I wasn't ready. I was just like,
Right.
I was going to say. So he gives me the number. I'm handing him my number. Okay, I think I got a number to like a Chinese restaurant, right? Like, hello, Wong's, right? He does the show, amazing. I'm running late to go to another taping. My phone rings.
It's Paul
I
McCartney.
don't recognize the number. I let it ring the voicemail, and this is the message on my phone.
Hi, Paul. It's Paul McCartney here. I'm going to ring you back in 5 minutes to do the podcast thing. I've got some time now. Otherwise, I'm going to run out of time. So if you're there in 5 minutes' time, you got me.
What? Did you get him? Did you get him?
I called him back. I'm like, why are you bothering me?
We're out of time. We're out of time.
I got him. He's on the show. Inside Out with Paul Mecurio.
I love it.
Thanks.
I love it.
And at
That's
comicsroadhouse.com for tickets.
Yeah.
For this weekend.
It's
And why
always-
don't you guys come to a show?
Would
can
you
heckle
please
me.
come back
June
and visit us more
24th.
often?
Yeah,
June
please, I would
24th.
love to now that I'm back. Now that
yeah.
we're back, yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's always fun with you guys.
It's June. What,
June 2 to 4. Okay. June. What does that say?
what does that say?
June 2nd to the 4th.
Oh,
June 2nd through the 4th.
We can't
June
read.
Have
se- yeah,
hosts
we
that
can't.
can't read? Really?
I just had something
this what
shoot
we're
into my
doing now?
eye. I don't
It's
know.
this weekend. Okay, June. There's a dash in there. June 2nd through the 4th.
Yeah.
At comicsroadhouse.com.
Now, not only are people not going to buy tickets, they won't go the right date. Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
June 2nd through the 4th.
Roadhouse Comedy, Comics Roadhouse.
Apparently,
Want to see
I'm
something?
gonna need your readers,
yeah,
too.
exactly.
I don't
If
think
you
I
want to see
need
something
them.
else funny, it's Recipe of the Week. It's coming up. Big Y Recipe of the Week. We're gonna